Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. If you've been here before, it's been a little bit of a journey, but we're here. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so if you want to subscribe to help the channel out, I think we're at like 814 or somewhere around there. I'm not sure, but if you want to help the channel out, please like, subscribe, comment, do all those things that we love. Now, where have I been? I have been shooting a lot of indie music videos. So it's a lot of run and gun music videos that I am exhausted at doing. I'm recently taking a step back from all of that to pursue just more writing, stories, and things that I actually enjoy doing. Music videos, low budget videos aren't really fun. It's fun to, deal with artists when it comes to music, but it's not really why I got into filmmaking is to shoot low budget music videos. But like I said, the best part is dealing with new artists, younger artists. The new music that's coming out is amazing. It's pretty cool to see all the new kinds of styles and stuff like that. But, I digress. So what I've been working on is a lot of writing. And with writing comes actual acting. And the other day I was watching Stranger Things. Now, everybody loves Stranger Things. Stranger Things is like one of the biggest shows in the world. For me, I haven't watched a show that I enjoyed since, I want to say, what was the show? Wow, I can't think of the name now. Game of Thrones. Wow. All road Game of Thrones fans were like, how do you forget the name of like one of the best shows ever, right? But I haven't really binge watched the show since Game of Thrones, and it's not a lot of shows that can get me to watch 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. And Stranger Things is one of those shows that gets you to watch every episode, every season. Now, I am not a Stranger Things fanatic, geek, or whatever, whereas like I love everything Stranger Things. I've been watched it, the seasons over and over and over. I have friends that have watched Stranger Things seasons over and over and over. They rewatch it. Great show. But I've watched it, I think, most of the season. If I'm not almost always finished, I'm at season 4, I guess. I'm spitballing this, so I didn't fact check this, but I think I'm like season 4, I think. But one of the episodes that really stuck out to me is when she gets abducted in the graveyard. Now, that's one of the most creative scenes I like. I like that abduction look. I've thought about writing a story about a guy getting abducted. I finished it, but it just wasn't right exactly where I wanted it at in terms of like releasing it and shooting it. But I love the idea of being abducted, right? We've been watching those movies since, 70s, 80s, whatever, when they came out. But I like that scene because that scene just was so very cinematic. And it's a scene that anyone can recreate. You don't have to have a big Hollywood budget to recreate it. So recently I did recreate it. I'll show you. I'll throw it on the screen right now. But I'm going to take you through the process of how I achieved it. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today, I had an idea last night. So I'm talking about today, but last night I had an idea. I wanted to do a Stranger Things kind of like video where I just want to be looking at the sky and, like I'm part of Stranger Things. If you know Stranger Things, there's a look. There's a look when something's happening, when they got powers, whatever. Yeah, I just thought it would be cool. So let's go to the studio and knock it out. Just got to the studio. So we need this C-stand, and we need sandbags. Two. I think I got one in my car, so that should be enough. So I had to take this upstairs, so I'll be back. I just shot it. I had to use the vintage cassette player. It just made it feel more real. I need to cut it off. iPad working fine, but sometimes my Red Komodo won't show the screen live. I don't know why. Sometimes I have to like take it off, like undownload it, download it back. But we got the shot. Here's the shot as of right now. You guys can see. So we'll take it back to the office and edit it up and see what we got. But we got to take, my eyes are going to be all white, like smoky. So we'll see how it goes. I don't want to make this a huge video on every single thing. I'm not really the detail guy. I like to hit bullet points of the things that are most important, I think. And before we get into all the things that I did and should have did or would have done, the most important thing is I want to tell you is just go out and try to make something. Try to make something that connects with you and to people. You know, most of the time is spent in your mind. You know, as a creator, all creators can relate to majority of the work is done in here, in your mind. It's thinking about, should you do it, should you not, and then just being creative. So just go out and shoot whatever, you know, you feel is heavy on your mind to be shot, you know, and that's the goal. Well, that kind of has been the goal for the last year for sure. You know, just whatever comes to mind, just shoot it. Don't push things off. Don't think, well, I need this, I need that. Just shoot it, figure it out. You know, that's the best part of filmmaking, is just figuring it out as you go. So I just been shooting it and just figuring out if I mess up, cool, but I can learn what do I need to do next time. And that's what this was about. So to jump in this, off the back, this can be achieved so many different ways. So you don't actually have to per se use a green screen or use some type of bodysuit they probably use to lift her up, because if you see in that screenshot, their actors are on the ground. It shows that separation, the depth between the actors. It gives that feeling that she's in the air. Now, was I able to achieve that if I wanted to? Yes, I could have achieved that if I wanted to. I would just have to shoot some green screen work and then, you know, then shoot another scene, I guess, with them on the ground. There's a way to achieve it. But for me, I just kept myself on the ground and just shot it that way. And I still achieved the look that I wanted. I just wanted to look like I'm looking up and like I'm about to be abducted. But yes, I could have achieved it a little bit better if I did put some actors behind me so it could feel like I'm a distance away from them floating in the sky. But I am not the cast and crew of Stranger Things, and it's hard to do all that by yourself. So I did all of it by myself, from shooting it, editing it, everything. So real quick, so let's get into camera gear, because everybody loves gear, and if you love gear, I love gear. So off the back, I'm gonna let you know right now, I love using my Red Komodo. I don't always bring it out because it's just not practical when you're filmmaking by yourself, and that's just something for anybody that wants to buy cinema cameras. Red Komodos, the autofocus, they do have a little bit of autofocus, but it's not the best. I was able to achieve it with this shot, but I usually don't use my Red Komodo because of its, you know, it's kind of handicap if you don't have somebody touching the camera, I feel like. But I end up using it. I put my Canon RF 24-70 lens on it, and you know, it has autofocus. Not the best, but if you're not moving, it will lock onto it and it'll stay there. If you're moving around, you're gonna have the focus breathing. You don't want that. I didn't have to worry about that because I wasn't moving, you know, so I was able to achieve it with that. Next thing I had that you're going to need to achieve a shot like this is you need to get that camera above your head, and the best thing to use is a heavy duty C-stand. Did I have to use a heavy duty C-stand? No, I could have used any C-stand, but the heavy duty C-stand gives you a chance to use different focal lengths. I was able to shoot this, I think, at 35 millimeters, and like I said, it's not super wide, but it's sort of wide. And imagine if I had a little C-stand, I would have to definitely been very wide. I would have had to probably shoot that at like 18 to like give some type of separation from the camera. Now, I don't like to shoot really wide. The more wide you shoot, I feel like the more like you don't get that depth, especially shooting at like, 2.8 or whatever. It's not that much depth you're getting with the focus. So for me, I shot at 35. First of all, closer focal lengths already gives that deep focus look. So at 35, it's not like 70, right? But it's better than 24, which I could have used. So so I shot it at like 35 using my Zoom 24-70 Canon RF lens. So that's what I use. I use a heavy duty C-stand and a lot of sandbags. Now, when you're putting the camera up that high, you're going to need a lot of sandbags. Now, for me, I had to strip my Red Komodo down because when I have it rigged out, I have 2 batteries on there. I have a monitor on there, of course. I have, grips, 2 grips. So it's just a lot of weight. And the thing is, when you're running one C-stand, it's still going to balance. It's still going to bounce, move up and down because wind blowing and things like that. And it was a windy day. So you're going to get little shakes. You guys don't see it because I ended up shooting it at like 60 frames per second. So I was able to slow it down. But if I put it at 24 frames, you would have seen a lot more motion in the shot from the camera. And I really didn't want that. And that would have forced the camera to focus in and out because the camera's not the best. So that's what you're going to need. A lot of C-stands and things like that. Now, what I really wanted to talk to you guys about is the editing process. Now, editing this is fun. And I'll do a quick time lapse of me editing right now. Now, I didn't know how I was going to achieve it editing wise, but I am getting better at editing. And one thing I like to tell people is use the program you know. Now, I think I got like a year under my belt of DaVinci. I primarily switched to DaVinci because I have Red Komodo, I have an R5C. They shoot raw. I want to be able to color it to get the most out of the camera. Now, there's some things in DaVinci that you can do that I know how to do in Adobe After Effects, but I just sometimes just don't, the process, the layout of DaVinci in their editing page, I just don't know. And I tell people all the time, learn the process of working with 2 programs if it's going to speed up the editing. I could watch a video and try to learn how to do some of the things I needed to do in Adobe, but sometimes it just takes too long. For me, masking just works easier in Adobe After Effects. So learning a process, a good workflow to go from DaVinci to After Effects is going to save you a lot of time. And I don't think you should leave either program. And this is just for people that's deciding Adobe or DaVinci. I use them both, to be honest, because you get the great out of colors out of DaVinci, and then you get good stuff out of editing out of After Effects. I think After Effects for special effects, for me personally, I enjoy better than DaVinci. And colors, Hollywood is using DaVinci for color at this point, so we don't have to talk about colors in DaVinci. Everybody knows if you want to know how to color, start with DaVinci. And then there's other actually programs that real big Hollywood movies use, but start with DaVinci, you'll be good. But this was fun. Honestly, I had fun doing it. I had fun shooting it. It was just me out there. Usually just me, whether I'm shooting a music video or a short film, whatever. It's always me. My boy Jay has, been coming around. I've been shooting a lot of stuff. I shoot a lot of stuff for other people, and I shoot a lot of test footage that I always want to use for something and I never do it. So a lot of times I'm shooting even if I'm not posting on here. If you follow me on Instagram at Quader Mayfield, you'll see that I'm always shooting. I'm shooting damn near every week. That's not the problem. It's about the more detailed work that I need to focus on, that I'm extremely excited about doing, plus I'm better at. When I could plan out a scene, I could plan out the lighting, I could plan out the dialogue, I could plan out the special effects. I'm better when I plan. all that fast, just do it really quick. It's good to get your 10,000 hours in, but if you want to be a GOAT, if you want to be a legend, if you want to be him, you need to put all the time into being that thing. So that's really what I'm focused on now. I know my way around camera. I know filmmaking at least more than the average beginner. I'm a good amount of years in, and all filmmakers know that it don't matter what kind of camera you got. It all depends on how much creativity you have at the end of the day. The most creative person is going to make the best work. So be creative, stay hungry, and I believe I'll be great. So that's what I've been trying to just focus on, is just like making actual art. Now, with art, the best part about art for me is nostalgia. Now, what's more nostalgia than a cassette player? Like this retro cassette player and these headphones. This is what sold that. These are the things that make a film feel good. This is something that they would use in Stranger Things. It's so many ways to tell a film. There's so many details to tell a film. You need to have it all right. You got to have every detail right. Every detail helps you sell the film. You could be on a low budget film, but if you get your set design right and some good actors, it'll feel like that movie. Or you can go get the best, most expensive camera and then have the worst actors and no set design, but try to say this is 1980, but it doesn't feel like 1980. So spend the money and time on things that actually matter. I have a Red Komodo. I don't plan on ever getting rid of my Red Komodo. I'll be shooting with the Red Komodo for the rest of my life. It does everything I need. Don't sell me on anything else other than the IMAX camera. I think the next step up for me is IMAX. I'm putting that in the universe. I will be shooting on IMAX. Outside of that, now, will I use other cameras? Yes. What I'm saying is, purchasing a camera, it has to at least make sense. If I do buy another camera, it has to make sense. Other than that, the Red Komodo is like a perfect camera. It's just like the FX3. They've made it so good that you don't really need to upgrade. I think there are gearheads, so they're going to think otherwise, but for me personally, as an independent filmmaker, the Red Komodo and the R5C is perfect. R5C, take pictures, video, and then the director, cinematographer, and me is covered with the Red Komodo, shooting at 6K, 14 plus dynamic range is amazing. So yeah, short video today. I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys that I'm alive, I'm here, I'm working. You're going to be seeing a lot of me, hopefully. I know I say that every time and then I disappear, but I'm going to say it until, guess what? I'm here every week. So if you are new here, if you like this video, if this is something that you think I should do more of, like take scenes from movies and put it into an indie style, let me know. This is something that anybody can do. Before we go, I want to say it took me forever to find eyes that match my eyes. That was the hardest process, trying to find like blank eyes. I think you have to search it like a certain way, and you'll find like eyeballs with no can't think of the name of the middle of your eyeball, but it's hard to find. So I finally found it. I don't think it matched my eyes, but I was just doing something really quick. If I ever had to do this again, I would definitely edit special made blank eyes for this and spend the time in Photoshop to get the best quality eyes that match what I'm trying to do. But that was the hardest thing. If anybody was wondering, that was the hardest process, is finding that. And other than that, everything was pretty smooth for the most part. Just figuring out what to edit and which program maybe was a little difficult, because I just think like, what did I want to do it in? But other than that, the process was very smooth. But I hope you guys like this video. I hope to see you guys on my next video. I do have a couple ideas for videos that I've written down in my book that I want to achieve, so hopefully we're able to knock those out in the next coming weeks. But until next time, peace.